poetry. After all, they are one and the same. She wrote her first song at age 7 and continues to provide her work for me. She wrote her first song at age 7. This is her first time reading at a mic. I need you guys to clap right now, stomp, and scream for Tara.
I'm going to make this as painless as possible. I've got about 4 that I'm going to attempt. So hopefully by the second one, I don't think. Okay, can you guys hear me okay? No, speak very loudly. Okay, so these aren't very long, so I'll just get through it. Okay, this one's called Pull Your Strings. Keep a memory still and steal its breath, and make it harder for you to gasp your curse. So you bite at my mind with the shards that scintillate the telltale untruth, because you know how I'm precise to a fault. And now you're delirious. Here I'll pick up the components of the last go-round and make you feel like you've been found. Your disasters don't stand a chance like the one I just gave you. And I'll be just fine because I'm damn good at it. Here I am still trying to find what's left of the secrets. There you sit by the broken bottles and putrid mess left over from going over and over, you know what, in your face-off against your goddamn self. And your heart lays all over the floor, my words dripping calligraphy that hangs in the air, passing thought that keeps you frustratingly less than what you are. And you're always tearing at your hair like you can't stand to feel my bones that collapse and rot with touch. It will lay on your conscience like a loaded gun. Let's give this gruesome show an encore. Here, I'll help you stand and force you to bow down. I'll pull your puppet strings and make you act like a real person. I'll listen to your monologue. You're so damn dramatic. With open-minded insanity, and when you sleep or when you are gone from thought, I'll be right there watching over and I'll keep our memories covered. Okay, so this one, I guess I'll read that one. It's called Tears of Glass. Now, the way I write, you take your own meanings. I don't necessarily write about points in time. I know some people write like a diary or in a journal to reflect things that have happened in their life, but necessarily I just write to just see if people can just relate or get something out of it. So, whatever you take from it, I hope that you enjoy it. Tears of glass trembling down a cheek, the darkest side of a face kept hidden inside the palest mind that turns to look away from you. That hides, tucked into a storybook of fears, the grayest shade of emotions, of tears. Furtive glance out the window of souls, the rain comes down a drop that burns. This will burn out all of your colors, may it leave you with a shade of gray. Alone inside this room the child plays, with scissors, with a glint of silver, hope awash in gray drenched in decay. You press firmly upon the parts that hurt. Color the shadows softly with the brush of your lips, unravel stitches that ache so much, reforming a skin that bruises with your fist, the harbor a melody deep within, and watch the kaleidoscope spin. Colors all in shaded gray, colors that scream louder, weaving a page torn from this book. You just read the story to him once. The tearful canvas faces the other way. Too damn scared to believe, too damn innocent just to see you. Pages upon pages of lies inside a book. The glass of the window in this room burns at the touch that painted the doll's face. Replace, erase the marks you have left there upon the cheek that leaks pieces of glass. The story ends and you cannot look at the face. Too damn hard to see what you've done, too damn colorless to do this alone. The gray diluted by shatters in a scope that does not work right, and a busted nightlight beside the window. Shines upon gray eyes with gray tears, lonely, looking downwards and away from pages that cannot be a part of the story. Close the book, burn the pages out, and leave a gray ash beside his bed. And the canvas gives way to sleep, to burn out dreams and scissors that dance. Last 2 small ones here. I think they're on the same page. Yeah, okay, cool. So this one is a little bit darker. It's called Betrayals, zipped into a body bag. The monster inside you tugs at your sanity when you taunt the crypt's keeper. This you fail to see beyond the realities, deeper still inside the vinyl cloak, a zipper. Naive one, do you know what he knows? I will be the one that makes sure it's closed. Those cold bones collapse against insides that rot with touch, and you thought confessions gave way too much credit to what lies within the body bags. Bring me back if I try to let go, push me down if I try to get to you. You can kiss the lips that hate you, just to let the tremor shake you. I invited you to dream inside me, I never created you to live. You called upon the devil, no answer this. Stale moonlight betrays secrets, a travesty to sacred hallmark. The pieces of your faith broken with my shards of dismay. You can grip my hand if you want to, no honest claim to keep you safe. Bitter one, what of your soul? The crypt keeper, he dug your grave. Bring me back, let me go, I am no good, I only live to lie to you. You like this game, you invented the ending just as soon. When the darkness deflects the light away from my shame, you should move my hand, you've got to. I've an honest claim to lead you astray. Sad one, didn't I tell you so? I dread close the zipper, goodbye face. Okay, so this one is called Personality. These imperfections, in a sense, only hinting decadence. Your die-hard mannerisms hard at work. Why don't you grab my patience? Give it a jerk. Oh, I'm wondering why. Why do we even try to listen? Stupid little dissension, essential hypertension. The superfluous antagonist doubled as the ass-kissing protagonist. Oh, I'm wondering why. Why do we even try to do this? Personalities hard at work, crude and blistered. They play with words that nauseate. They disoblige, they desecrate. One is born of slime, the other hell. They jab their words right through my shell. Such self-respecting imbeciles. I'm wondering why do you attack the weak to get your thrills? Your sophomoric progeny constantly singing their foul symphony. They're congregating at the pools, I'll await the festival of fools. Tired of incessant bitching and pointless linguistic strings you tease. My mind is flooded with your lies, your senseless words which I despise. I can't help but to abhor you, and I can't simply ignore you.
I need you guys to give it up one more time for Tara! Her first time ever tonight! Making it look easy. I'm proud of you. I really, really, really like it when virgins come here and we...
G-rated.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, that reminds me. This is an all-ages event in a family-friendly venue, so make sure that you keep it appropriate. I'll say that for myself. All right. So, I was going to read you guys something today.
To the beat of Outkast, B.O.B.
Okay, I haven't read anything in a couple weeks, so I promised someone that I would. Okay, so, P.S. This is a little book, and it's for sale if you want it. I have like 3 more copies of the original printing total, and then I'm going to make a new book when they're gone, so that'll be fun. And Julie Lang, our other poet, has books up at the front too, and then I also have this little anthology for a slam team I was on, which is also for sale. And since this is a donation show, it's kind of a donation thing for me. I don't know what Julie charges. What do you charge for your books?
Donation as well. Most
Donation
people give
basis.
$5 to $10, but whatever you want to give, it's total donation at this point.
Yeah, $5 to $10 is pretty standard. But yeah, so take some poetry home. All right. I'm going to read you a couple of little lovey-dovs. All right, this one's called Bedtime Stories for Lovers. He said to her, "Won't you fold me up like a paper airplane and fly me to your dreams?" And she replied, In the back of my throat I will hide you, to sing you on every summer breeze. So in life, not dreams, you will float back to me. Alright, and this is another one. I don't know what it's called anymore because I sort of changed it a little since I wrote it the first time, but anyway. He's a warm body in a cold bed. He's a dream of love in a life that's become blurred in a whirlwind of naked bodies, unsteady hearts, and conflict. He distracted me with romance until the inevitable disappointment returned me to myself. The grief I'm afraid to feel leaves an open grave inside my chest, so he couldn't fall in love. There was nowhere for him to fall but in, buried by a confused undertaker. Loneliness has become my closest lover. Silly Cinderella story nightmares haunt my daydreams. Disillusionment knocks on every cracked window in the castle. I've outlawed funeral rites for princes. Scar tissue is so much stronger than smooth skin. I miss love like home. 3,000 miles away from the last time someone touched me like they gave a shit. Another disappointing affair packed up with the garbage. Hope keeps wrapping itself inside smiling liars. If I'd never known love, I wouldn't know what I was missing. Desperate grasping for the past and the future clouds the present. I've fallen in love at first sight too many times to count. I've swallowed infatuation like a drug, addicted to my imagination, too stubborn to be swayed by the impossible. The earth shakes from beneath me, my last breath taunts my lungs. Grasping the edge of my death, I gasp back to life again. My bed doesn't have guardrails. But rainbows are created in quartz crystals when they crack from stress. I would have fought for him like gathering my pennies to pay for fountain flick wishes, one by one dreaming for him with each bit of copper sunken under ripples of childish faith. Never got past the bent corner on page 5. A few words from the abstract stumbled from my tongue, but he never put his feet up. Spent a lazy Sunday. He never dug in. He was the grain of sand that invaded my shell, scratched my tenderness until I formed a pearl, so how could I ever complain? With heavy hands I grabbed my shovel and began filling in the grave left open too long, slowly making solid ground for new love to stand on. I wanted to see if that actually made any noise in the microphone. It did. It worked. Sorry. Maybe I'll read another one. I don't know. These are all old. They're all old poems.
They're new to us.
They're new to you? Oh, okay.
We're old listeners.
This one is called The Goddess Poem. I am the moon and the sun, your daughters and your sons. I am their midwives and their mothers, their sisters and their brothers. All that is was birthed by me. All infinite creation was sculpted by my hand, formed from my blood, the blood of creation that unites all women, living, past, and yet to come. Darkness and light live in harmony in all my glory. Celebrate, dream, form visions and birth them into creation. You are one and many, united under one mother, in all my soft, dark warmth and silence, in all my radiance and my grace. All is made well by my blessing. Rest your weary heads on my breast. Come home again. Maybe I'll read you some more later, but that's enough out of me now. All right, so we have a beautiful barista in the back who wrote a wonderful poem, and her name is Carmen.
You did
and
it!
Yes! Really want her to come up here and read it. Woo! Can you guys like clap and She's very, very afraid. But you know what? We're all afraid when we get up here. What? Are you going to go give her love? Are you sending love? Are you sending love to Carmen? She needs it. Oh. It's beautiful. I read it already, and it's so beautiful, and I want to hear her say it. Will you say it? You will? She's going to do it! All right, you guys. Help her out.
She said I can read it.
Oh, you can read it? All right. Carmen, you can do it. You can do it. Okay. That's going to read it for her. But I need you guys to give it up for Carmen allowing her poem to be read. And maybe Louise is going to get her up here to read it herself. Hang on, I'm going to go grab it.
One fish. Two fish. You have beautiful handwriting, by the way. Okay. I am lying. This is terrible. No. Release? Is that... Okay, like the steam on the barista thing, right? Dark. She wanders around on what she only thinks is floor, her hands touching, cold, sticky, which she cannot see. She fears footsteps in the distance. She looks around, helping to find a chance for escape. But instead, she runs into a thing that causes her pain, her cheek burning fire red, her body aching, wishing she were dead. Anything would be better than being in this place. The footsteps start again, her hand grasping what she knows is only sharp. As the footsteps get closer, they stop. She can feel the air coming from his mouth onto her. She loses all fear and stands with what once was a body of rape, abuse, and things she could no longer stand. She lunges forward. Silence. Drip, drip, drip. He was gone. She was finally free. Thank you, Carmen.
Work with the formula, do what I have to do.
Alright. Next up to the mic is one of my favorites. The sweetheart, cute face. Her name is Brittany. She's 19. She's from Columbia Falls. She's going to read a poem by Sylvia Plath, which I'm sure we'll all love. So everybody, I need you to give it up right now for Brittany Stevenson to the mud.
I'm going to attempt to recite one of my favorite poems. It's called Lady Lazarus by Sylvia Plath. I have done it again. 1 year in every 10, I manage it. A sort of walking miracle. My skin bright as a Nazi lampshade. My right foot a paperweight. My face a featureless fine Jew linen. Peel off the napkin, oh my enemy. Do I terrify? The nose, the eye pits, the full set of teeth. The sour breath will vanish in a day. Soon, soon the flesh, the grave cave ape will be at home on me, and I a smiling woman. I am only 30, and like the cat I have 9 times to die. What a trash to annihilate each decade. What a million filaments. The peanut crunching crowd shoves in to see them. Unwrap me hand and foot, the big strip tease. Gentlemen, ladies, these are my hands, my knees. I may be skin and bone, nevertheless I am the same identical woman. The first time it happened I was 10, it was an accident. The second time I meant to last it out and not come back at all. I rocked shut as a seashell. They had to call and pick the worms off me like sticky pearls. Dying is an art, like everything else. I do it exceptionally well. I do it so it feels like hell. I do it so it feels real. I guess you could say I recall. It's easy enough to do it in a cell. It's easy enough to do it and stay put. It's the theatrical comeback in broad day to the same place, the same face, the same brute amused show. A miracle that knocks me out. There is a charge for the eyeing of my scars. There is a charge for the hearing of my heart. It really goes. And there is a charge, a very large charge, or a word, or a touch, or a bit of blood, or a piece of my hair, or my clothes. So, hair doctor, hair enemy, I am your opus, I am your valuable, the pure gold baby that melts to a shriek. I turn and burn. Do not think I underestimate your great concern. Ash, ash, you poke and stir. Flesh, bone, there's nothing there. A cake of soap, a wedding ring, a gold filling. Hair God, hair Lucifer, beware, beware. Out of the ash I rise with my red hair, and I eat men like air.
It's the Kalispell Get Poetry Open Mic. Find us, connect with us, send us to your friends. We have flyers and posters if any of you want to put them up in like your English classes or at your college or wherever you hang out where you think there might be poets. Talk to me. We have our email list. I told you about it already. If you're not on it, get on it. And write legibly. Write legibly for our email list. We also have a YouTube playlist. We have an invite that you can send to your friends. So get connected. Connect others. So the other half of the Cutie Pie duo is also here. Her name is Frankie Jackson. She says she doesn't want to marry Linus, but she really likes his blanket. And blankets are the universe, and I 100% agree with you. I need you guys to give it up right now for Frankie Jackson to the mic!
Okay, so I'm also going to read a poem that I've already read, but nobody was really here. They were at the Women in the World thing, so I'm just going to read it again. I was working on a new poem. It's not quite finished, but I'll have it next week. I don't know if anyone's read the story The Tears of Roddy, but it's sort of inspired by that. This one is called Sunshine, and it's sort of about a fort that me and my cousin built in the woods. The heat soaks into my flesh, my fingers unfurling like new wings, my toes digging into the dirt. If your mind is a sodden tea bag, mine must be dregs by now. The wood that built our house has rotted away, and the drapes are molded and torn. The light is pouring in like a cup of hot cider, feeding the knobbly pink strawberries sprouting from the carpet. I take a deep breath. The musk of red, velvety sawdust and pine needles, green and orange, is masked by the perfume of your breath. The leaves crinkle beneath my hair as I lay back, watching a ladybug creep across the knee of my jeans. You warm my eyelids with your thumbs, lulling me into a trance, the sunshine streaming right through your translucent skin. I miss you.
Keep it going for Frankie Jackson. I'm glad you read it again. I really want to listen to it. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys some more things. If you, there's been a lot of people walking in late, so I'm just going to say things that I've already said. But every Sunday here, we have a writing workshop that starts at 2 o'clock. It goes from 2 to 3. And we play with words together, we play with each other's words, we edit each other's poems, and all kinds of other awesomeness. So you guys should come, because it's awesome. And then, that's right. You can tell who is a loyal writing workshop participant. Alright, and then at 3:30 is when the sign-ups technically begin. We'll start setting up and stuff at 3:30 is when the sign-ups begin, and then 4 o'clock we start every Sunday right here at the Boiler Room. I need you guys to give it up one more time for the Boiler Room. For all of your beautiful voices in the back. Buy their food, buy their drinks, eat their salads, slurp their Slurpees or smoothies or whatever. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to say for right now. So, next up to the mic is our, as I about our writing workshop, I should introduce our writing workshop loyal and wonderful co-organizer, Julie Lang. Julie says she is an extended metaphor. She's trying to describe herself in a straightforward way, and it just won't work. She's an editor of nonfiction who writes free verse, a dancer with broken feet, and an artist who can't draw a straight line. I need you guys to give it up right now for Julie Lang to the mic! That was kind of crappy. I need you guys to try that again. Julie Lang to the mic!
Thank you, guys. So, like Leanne said earlier, I've got some of my poetry books at the back. It is definitely donation only, whatever you want to give. Love to get the word spread around. This is one of the pieces that is in that book. It's called Wail and Cry and Scream. I've never been one for wailing. When I sit in a stuffy room overpowered by the scent of lilies and sweat, with people that only recognize my face stretched with a plaster smile, my lips pushed shut and silent as I stare at that tiny box, too small for a boy of your height, and then at my scuffed shoes. I've often been one for screaming. Not like that, but when somebody is crouched around the corner, hiding in the hallway, I can feel you there. I can see you there. But that sharp, high, spiral sound spirals up from my toes as though it's been waiting hidden, just like you, until you cross my path. I've always been one for crying. Even in anger, my response comes quiet and wet. Tears drip off my Rudolph nose, streaming mascara across my skin, before I rub it into that sweater, the one you never liked anyway, as you hold me, comfort me, without understanding why, until I almost believe that a lack of understanding is the most beautiful thing in the world. Thank you. So we were talking in the workshop today about how sometimes it's very difficult to read a piece, even if it works well on paper. And this is one of my most difficult pieces to read. This was published this fall in the literary journal Sketchbook. And it's an F3, which means that every line of the poem has one more syllable than the line before. This is actually a double F3. It goes from 1 to 10, then 10 back down to 1. So it looks beautiful on paper, and when you try to read it, it doesn't quite make sense. So it's always a challenge, but I'm going to give it a go. This is called Floating. This is it. A feeling, an emotion, so elemental, you could etch it into the red rock wall overhead, carve deeply so that others will, when floating on the river below, look up and catch a glimpse as they go by. They might revere the ancient engravings, their meaning faded by rain, snow, sun, but this sketch is so powerful. Although new, all would see it for what it really is. Art, not graffiti, filled with meaning and timeless, a pure love. Thank you. So this is the one that I brought to writing workshop today, really hoping that I'd nailed it, and of course I hadn't. So this is my first attempt at playing with a little bit of revision based off of the feedback out of there. This is called The Game. Standing at the foul line, the player fondles the ball, confident in his possession. I'm the orb, twirled on one finger, shifted from hand to hand, never allowed to touch down. Until in the final seconds, he straightens his arms overhead and surprises his fans, heaving me toward the floor so that I hit slick wood and ricochet, careening into the far corner to bounce from wall to wall. The buzzer sounds. Bleachers empty, floodlights dim, cheers and groans fade, leaving behind the empty court and the debris of a marriage. Crumpled wrappings, broken glass, bleeding ketchup packets, plastic straws, twisted and cracked and destined to live too long in a landfill of memories. As the player leaves the arena, the heavy steel door swings behind him, but it doesn't bang shut. You stand in shadow outside, catch the cool metal edge with quick fingers and slip in. Your trainers could pound the floor as you rush to catch me on the rebound, bruising your hands from the force of that player's throw. But you know better and glide across the floor on sock-shod feet. You wait for me to bounce twice, 3 times, 4, until as I gradually lose force and speed, you can slip my rhythm into your own, and we move as one across the smooth floor, making love look effortless. Thank you.
I need you guys to give it up one more time for Julie Lang.
I forgot to tell everybody, I am going to be reading poetry this Wednesday night at the open mic at the Craigie Range in Whitefish. It is a music open mic, but they welcome poets. It's been a while since I've read there, but I'm going to be up there Wednesday night at 9 o'clock, and it would be very cool if we actually had Boiler Room Poet Group to come up and take the stage all together. So if anybody else is interested in reading, come and see me after the show, and we can all get up and everybody can read a piece and show those musicians how much fun poetry can be. Thank you.